Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks. Welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. If you want to join us on the program this morning, you can do so at any time, 888-250-2091. That's the number to join us on the show, 888-250-2091. Ask a question, make a comment. We'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate as well. Now, that gift certificate could come in awful handy. There's a lot going on at Schrock right now. We normally don't like to run back-to-back sales or special offers, or more than one sale or special offer at the same time. From a marketing perspective, just from getting on the radio and talking about it, I don't want to spend half the show talking about what's on sale at Schrock right now. I want to talk about cool stories and tech stuff. And yes, we have to be responsible and pay the bills, but, we don't need to go overboard and try to buy a new boat or something. You know what I mean? So really quickly, I want to go over this with you because we have just over 100 copies left of Safe Upgrade. And the Safe Upgrade, the 22H2 update, I'm still getting calls. I've been in the Omaha Service Center all week. I think right now I'm pushing hour number 60 this week. Just spent a ton of time in there and talking to a lot of customers and hearing the phone calls that are coming in. Each day, the Omaha Service Center is getting 2 or 3 calls a day about people who are still confused about this update. So I want to take a moment just to kind of lay it out, break it down Barney style, make sure that everybody understands what's happening. Microsoft puts out updates for Windows operating systems that are actually upgrades. These are called feature updates as opposed to a quality update. The feature upgrade or a feature update is an update that is an entire new version of Windows. So it's like going from Windows 7 to Windows 10. It's a big upgrade. So except you're going from Windows 10 to Windows 10 or from Windows 11 to Windows 11. So customers get confused sometimes because they're saying, well, what am I upgrading to? I had Windows 10 before, and after the upgrade, I'm going to have Windows 10 again. So what exactly am I upgrading to? Is this just a patch? What is this? So the best way that I can describe this is you have Windows 10 on your computer. Let's say you have a taco. You can upgrade your taco. You can get a completely new taco. You can get tacos with different toppings on it. You can get brand new taste. Maybe you want to upgrade all the way up. Maybe you want to get a burrito. You can change over time. And if I say let's go get tacos, that could mean something completely different to somebody else. Now, maybe this is a terrible analogy, but Windows 10 version 21H2 2021 half 2 is what you are running right now if you're current and up to date on your computer, which many of you are not. But if you're current, that's what you're running. There's a new version of Windows 10 coming called 22H2. Now, I'm saying Windows 10 here, but the exact same thing is happening at the exact same time using the exact same names for Windows 11. Confused yet? So you have Windows 10 and Windows 11. Current versions are both 21H2. Both of them are getting new tacos that are going up to 22H2, second half 2022. So when this happens, your computer is going to download a great big update over time. Once the update is done, it's going to start downloading actually before the update is released so that on release day, you can just be upgraded. Yay, isn't that awesome? We've already downloaded all the bits you need. And that's part of the problem is Microsoft only downloads the bits that it thinks you need to your computer. And as a result, sometimes the installation doesn't go as expected. For example, consistently, we have customers that come in because their computers don't reboot after the update. We have other customers whose computers won't stop rebooting after the update. They just keep in a boot loop over and over and over again. We have other customers who simply can't install the update. And a lot of times these customers are already behind a version because they couldn't install the last one either. And if you fall 2 versions behind, you no longer qualify for security updates, which is another big problem. It's a reason you need to stay current on this stuff. So How do you get this update installed on your computer? An update that is supposed to be free, that is supposed to automatically install on your computer. Now, you can throw the dice and see if it automatically installs on your computer. It very well could. Doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately. Doesn't mean it's going to happen on day 1 or day 10 or day 20 even. It could be 6 months from now it suddenly decides it wants to install on your computer. But the day will come when it wants to install on your computer. When that day comes, it's going to try to install. And 20% of the people that have the automatic installation are going to end up on the bench in the service center, spending 1 to 2 hours of labor, depending on what needs to be done, to resurrect their operating system and get their data back. So $125 to $250 to fix a problem that an update is causing. This is happening over and over and over and over to the same people, it seems, to the point where people started getting angry. And they're not angry at Schrock because they know we're not pushing these updates out to them. It's Microsoft that's pushing the updates. But they're angry at the situation, and we are the closest target to that anger. So sometimes, we take a couple barrels to the face, We don't like our customers being upset, especially if they seem to be upset with us. That's not great service, right? So what do we do about it? Well, we sat down and we had the coders at Schrock build a new piece of software called Safe Upgrade. And what Safe Upgrade does is it installs the 22H2 update, the one that's coming out here at the end of this month potentially, because they don't tell you exactly when it's coming out. They're like, it's the October update. They're saying it's the September update, but they're always late. So we're calling it the October update because they're literally they haven't been on time once. So it's going to be an October update, even though they say it's September. So it could come in September here. It could come on Tuesday for all I know. They usually release them on a Wednesday or a Thursday for some weird reason. But at any rate, it's going to come out. And when it comes out, it's going to start getting automatically installed on your computer. If you go to our website at SchrockInnovations.com and you purchase a copy of Safe Upgrade, what this does for you is when the update is released, we will reach out to you. We're going to send you phone calls. We're going to send you text messages. We're going to send you Facebook messages. We're going to send smoke signals up. We're going to get on the radio. We're going to let you know that it is time to run Safe Upgrade. That if you try to run it right now, if you bought one and downloaded it and you try to run it now, it's going to say it's not time yet. But you're going to try to run Safe Upgrade to get that 22H2 update. When you run Safe Upgrade, it's going to download that big update, not from Microsoft, not just the bits that you need, but it's going to download the whole enchilada down from our servers, our faster servers, to your computer, and then run the update in the same way that we would do it in the service center. It's going to do all the pre-update checks to make sure your hard drive is healthy, to make sure your third-party software is up to date. Maybe you used to have a copy of Secure Updater, but you've let it lapse for whatever reason, or maybe it's expired, or maybe you've never had a copy before because you can only get one free trial per customer. Well, guess what? Everybody who buys Safe Upgrade gets a 15-day trial of Secure Updater so that we can make sure all your third-party software is current and up to date before you launch the upgrade. So we're going to do everything exactly the way we would do it in the service center. Then we're going to upgrade the computer. Let's say something still goes sideways. It doesn't happen often, but let's say something goes sideways. Because you purchase Safe Upgrade, you can bring it into us under warranty. And you don't have to spend $125 or $250 to fix your computer. We'll fix it under warranty for you. Let's say you try to run Safe Upgrade at home, because it is a do-it-yourself product. You run it at home. And if you can't run it, if you need help, of course, we're going to help you run it. But if you can't run it, you can't get it to work, you just want us to do it for you, you can bring your computer in or contact us over the Schrock desk and we can install the update for you. It's $30 extra to do it in the service center on the bench. And yes, we're going to be busy when the update releases because a lot of people will bring their computers in for that. But we'll do it for you on the bench. You don't have to worry about it. So Safe Upgrade is a way for you to kind of get a little bit of an insurance policy against these big updates. Now, the good news here is these updates used to come twice a year, every 6 months. This year, Microsoft is only releasing one. It's this one. So that's why there's a big jump from the second half of 2021 to the second half of 2022. There was no first half of 2022. It didn't happen. So Microsoft kind of gave you a break there. It's like an inflation break, right? You only had one computer blowing up update to deal with this year. Now, next year, we don't know what Microsoft's going to do. They're talking all these radical changes to the upgrade schedule. Maybe they're going to go to, they're calling it Microsoft Moments. What marketing genius thought of that? Is it like a senior moment? Like, oh, my computer's having a Microsoft moment. Oh boy, here it goes. It just keeps doing the same thing over and over again, or it gets lost, like it doesn't know what it's doing. It's having a Microsoft moment. I mean, this is like, Apple should just run with this. This is shake and bake stuff. But I digress. So there's a whole new update schedule coming, and we're going to stay on top of it for you and come up with a product blend that's going to work so that you're not opening your wallet up every 3 months, which is what they're talking about going forward in the future. But right now, this update is going to be big. This update is going to be big for a lot of reasons. Number one, Windows 10 has not had a feature upgrade in a year. This is going to be a big one. Normally they split it up. They put they lay the railroad tracks in one update, and then they put the train on the tracks in the other update. This update, they're going to do it all at the same time, and I'm sure it's fine. Number two, Windows 11 has never had a feature upgrade before. This is the first time it's ever been done on Windows 11. It should work a lot like Windows 10, but as we just mentioned, Windows 10, they used to do 2 a year to basically they had a structure, and now they just kind of junked the whole structure. And they're going to just throw it all on the table and see what sticks. And they're going to just throw that on Windows 11 too and see what sticks. So I'm sure it's fine. It'll be just fine. You need to get Safe Upgrade. There's about 100 copies left. Why is there a limited quantity? Well, because let's just say nothing sticks to the table. Tacos are flying everywhere. Everything's a mess. And we have 600 customers calling us at the same time between 4 service centers with 15 employees. We can actually handle that. We couldn't handle 1,000. We couldn't handle 1,200. So we have to limit the number of Safe Upgrade licenses that are available at any given moment in time, because if something goes wrong, we need to be able to provide you with service. And it doesn't do anyone any good if we sell tons and tons of licenses and then have something go wrong on Microsoft's side and everybody calls us at the same time and we don't answer the phone. It doesn't do any good. So that's why it's limited. There's, like I said, there's a little over 100 left. It's not like we're going to sell out this afternoon or anything, but get on the website, SchrockInnovations.com. We do sell out before the launch of every Safe Upgrade. Like when the rubber meets the road, procrastinators be procrastinating, and they all buy at the end. And so don't get left out in the cold. Make sure you snag your copy. You need one for each computer that you want to safely upgrade. 888-250-2091 is the number you can call to get a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate that you can apply toward the purchase of a Safe Upgrade if you want to. Last week on the program, if you missed the show, it's all available online. Tons of people watch the show on YouTube and Rumble or Facebook on the archive videos. But last week, we kicked off the final maintenance checkup sale of 2022. Again, I don't like running multiple sales at the same time, but they're really, if we wanted to do a maintenance checkup sale, this is the month we had to do it. Because in October, the whole month is going to be Safe Upgrades. We're going to be dealing with Safe Upgrade the entire month when they release it. Then in November, guess what? It's holiday special time, folks. December, it's holiday special time, and then we're out of the year. So if we wanted to run another maintenance sale, this was the month we had to do it. And I wanted to make sure you had a chance to get this on special because everything else costs more. We run it on special all the time, so it's not like it's new to us to put it on special. So you know what? Let's give you a break and put it on special. So it's $59.99 for a maintenance checkup. You need to have one every 6 months on your computer. I'm seeing computers in the service center that are coming in because customers are like, hey, can you upgrade me to Windows 11? And they've got like a 12-year-old computer that hasn't had maintenance in 4 years. And they're shocked when we find all kinds of problems. Like the solid-state hard drive is running slow and the power supply is bad. And sure, we can upgrade it, but we're literally, the only thing you're going to have left is the DVD drive and the case. Everything else is new, so you may just buy a new computer in that situation. But for those of you who have maintained your computers properly, we have saved people boatloads of money doing these core upgrades. I mean, over the last month, it was just intense how many people came in and had us upgrade the guts of their computer to make them Windows 11 compatible. It's phenomenal. But you need maintenance every 6 months on your computer because not only is it a physical dust buildup, error restriction kind of situation, but there's a digital buildup as well. The tracking cookies, the junk files on your hard drive, your solid state gets fuller and more full and more fuller and fuller and fullest. More full and more full and more fuller. I don't know. We need Grammarly. Where's Grammarly when you need it? If your solid state hard drive gets super duper full, that's when it fails. And so all these junk files that accumulate, patch uninstall files, temporary files, installation log files, all these things accumulate over time. I had one guy, I removed 22 gigabytes of files from his hard drive yesterday in the Omaha Service Center. 22 gigabytes of garbage. Literally, it's like a digital hoarder. We clean swept the house, got it all taken care of, and he got 22 gigabytes of his 120 gig solid state hard drive back. He didn't have to buy a new hard drive. He just needed a maintenance checkup to clean up and take out the trash. That's what you can come on in and do. Right now, we have open bench spots in the Omaha Service Center. Will be out of queue this morning. We have a trainee, so I dumped a lot of stuff off the bench yesterday. Well, I didn't dump it. I fixed it. I got it done for a customer and left the bench spot open. So our trainee today would have lots of repetitious opportunity to put new computer on the bench and start certain scans and put another one on the bench and do the same thing over again. It's like planning ahead for training there. So we will have open service center benches in Omaha. We do have them in Des Moines right now. I believe Lincoln also has open ones, and Papillion has a very small queue, primarily because they have some new computers they need to build. But they have a very small queue, so you can get that computer in and still get it turned around in a very reasonable amount of time. If you can't bring your computer in right now, if you're heading over to SchrockInnovations.com anyway to pick up a copy of Safe Upgrade, you can purchase a maintenance certificate, good for any time in the next 6 months that you want to bring it in. So last week we kicked off the maintenance checkup sale. We warned you about attacks on Linux operating systems, which most of you don't care about until you realize that most of the internet is run on Linux servers. And if those go down, then the internet's down. And then you thought, oh, I kind of like the internets, so let's make sure those Linux things get taken care of. We told you about some new USB standards coming that are going to allow some crazy new devices in the future here in computers that are going to be really neat. Also, we told you about patches for old Apple devices as well as TikTok, for those of you who are TikTokers among us. Coming up on the program today, again, we've talked about the maintenance sale, Safe Upgrade. We got that out of the way. You may have heard this week that the iPhone 14 was released. You may have also seen Steve Jobs' daughter trolling it. That was pretty funny. So we're going to talk about that coming up on the program. PC, Mac, tablet, mobile security revisited. Again, I spent a lot of time in the service center this week, and I heard a lot of questions, and the questions are still the same questions that we get over and over and over again. So once again, just for the sake of completeness, we're going to go over everything that you need to keep your PC or Mac safe and to keep your home network safe for all the other devices you connect to it that can't run antivirus, like your Ring Video doorbell or your thermostat or your smart TV. You need to keep those safe also, and we can give you some tips on that. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit on the program. Also, have you heard about the new Duck feature for email protection? The Duck, the makers of the DuckDuckGo search engine and the Duck browser, very privacy-focused nonprofit, are creating a new email service that has a really interesting take on protecting you from spam and all the trackers that you get. A lot of people don't realize that just opening an email, even if you don't respond to it or click on anything, just opening it, people know you opened the email. Like we track response rates when we send email. We know how many people open it. Well, Duck strips those trackers away. So pretty cool stuff there. So we got a lot to cover, and heck, we're already 22 minutes into the program. 888-250-2091. When we come back, iPhone 14 in space. And also, how a meme of an Indian guy applies to the Apple iPhone 14. Coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back in. You're listening to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Want to remind everybody that we are broadcasting on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Lots of great comments on there, including one from Muriel. Shout out to Trenton in the Omaha Service Center. He remotely solved my email problem in 5 minutes after 2 calls and 3 hours on the phone with Windstream. Thank you, Trenton. Also on Facebook, Brad says, same old stuff, goodbye. I tell you, I don't like doing multiple sales at the same time because it makes for bad radio, okay? I already said that, Brad. Okay. I'm doing my responsibility thing, and I'm being an adult, and it's not fun sometimes. But we'll get through it together. 888-250-2091. Kathy, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, Schrock, I bought the update, the one you're talking about right
the Safe Upgrade.
And I never got the information to download it.
Okay, so
and therefore I never got it.
Well, you don't have to download it yet. That's one of the reasons why the information. If we send out the information to download it, what we have found over time is if we send out the instructions immediately when you buy it, people go and try to do it. And then we get support calls. It won't work. And we're like, well, that's because it's not time to do it yet. And it says right on the instructions in like 42-point bold font, it's not time to do it yet. But people will do it anyway. So if you want to get ahead of the curve and download the software ahead of time, you can do so in your Schrock account. You go to SchrockInnovations.com and you click login, and all your downloads will be right there in the download section. All your purchase history is there. Your work order history is all there. So there's tons of information about everything you've done with Schrock in your Schrock account. But when it's time to actually run the software, for example, right now the reason why I'm not pushing the whole download it early and get ready to go is we're actually working on a new version of the Safe Upgrade software right now because we have it done. We know it works. It's just we have to get it signed so it doesn't trip off security alerts, and our signing certificate expired, and we're like, you got to be kidding me, right? So we have to go through this huge verification thing to get a new code signing certificate so that we can create a program that doesn't trip off every Windows security warning on your computer. Like, is this safe? Should you keep it? That kind of thing. But we have to figure out if you're on Windows 10 or Windows 11 this year. We've never had to do that before. And it's a simple fix, to detect what your operating system is. And then we can point you, because you run different updates depending on which operating system you're on. So we had to rewrite the code a little bit to do that. So that's why, Kathy, you're not getting this push to go download it ahead of time. Normally we would do that. But right now we're like, you can wait a little bit because we're going to push out this new piece of code that's going to be, and if you downloaded it already, no big deal, because when you run it, it'll say there's an update available and it'll update it. So it's not a big deal, but you can find it all in your Schrock account, Kathy.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, no sweat. Thank you for the call today. I appreciate you taking the time to join us on the program. 888-250-2091. So the iPhone 14 is here. There was a whole bunch of stuff announced, but, the meat and potatoes was the iPhone 14. Headline on financial news networks was, Apple does not increase the price of the iPhone 14. Yay! Everybody else is raising the price, but this is Apple showing their sticking power, squeezing their suppliers, keeping costs under control. Okay. I could offer a slightly different headline. Headline: Apple saves millions upon millions of dollars by not innovating and creating new technology for the iPhone 14. Yay! Because it's the exact same phone as the iPhone 13. Yay! Pretty much is. It's pretty much the same phone. There is virtually no difference between the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 14. It's so bad that Steve Jobs' daughter was even trolling it on Twitter. Like she was like, yeah, there's this meme of a guy. It's a guy from India, and it's Christmas time, and he's sitting in a chair, and he's wearing this purple striped shirt, and he's opening a gift, and it's a shirt, and he holds it up for the camera, and he's like, oh, look at my new shirt. And it's the exact same shirt as the one he's wearing. That's the iPhone 14. Yay, it's a new iPhone. It's the same as my old iPhone, but isn't this awesome? It's got a big 1.4 and not a 1.3. I like it. Basically Apple is using the chips are the same. They're just basically using their Pro chips in all the devices rather than just the Pro devices. So there's not really a huge difference between the two. One new feature they did introduce, though, was satellite SOS calling. It's going to be free for 2 years. So basically, it allows the iPhone in areas of limited connectivity to actually ping satellites to send emergency text messages. You have to point the iPhone directly at the satellite. Like literally, you have to point your phone at a satellite in space because the antenna in the iPhone, if you've ever seen a sat phone, they have these giant antennas. Well, iPhone antenna is just like any other smartphone. It's a tiny little antenna. And so it's not really designed to interact with satellites. So how did they overcome that? Well, they made an app. So you download the Find the Satellite app, and it literally puts it's like a flashlight beam, and there's a dot for a satellite, and you have to keep the flashlight beam on the dot while you're texting. And then you can send an emergency text. If you're in trouble and you're out in a mountainous area, yeah, I could see that being a nice feature to have. We just announced something similar is coming from Starlink for T-Mobile users on their phones. In remote areas, they're going to be using satellites to do text messaging as well. So some pretty interesting stuff happening in the cell phone world. And that is one new feature that Apple did introduce. But, if you were looking for an excuse to buy a new iPhone, you'll get a new battery. It's the same battery you had before, but it's new. You'll also get a case that says 1.4. I actually think it says 1.14 on the case. I think you have to look up the model number to see what the model is. But the phone is pretty much the same. There's some slight differences in the cameras. Bigger sensor in the camera, same slow connectors. Literally, they didn't even change the charging connector. They did change the SIM card inside, which no one really cares about unless you're a world traveler, which most of us are not. So there you go, guys. New iPhone 14. Nice, but nothing that I would go out and drop $1,000 on, honestly. The fact that they kept the price the same is in effect a price increase because it's the same tech you bought last year for the same price you paid last year for it. Well, whereas everybody else, every other phone on the market has had a dramatic improvement in specifications. Apple just took the year off. So there you go. 888-250-2091. We're going to take a quick break, guys. Bottom of the hour here. So stick with us to this one because when we come back, Mac, PC, tablet, network, we're going to tell you all the things that you should be doing to secure those devices. And, I promise, Brad, I'm not going to use this segment to specifically sell Sophos and Secure Updater. We'll talk about them, but I'm not going to put any sales out on them, okay? No more sales. Just for you, Brad. Coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier, so take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. Funeral plans for Queen Elizabeth are falling into place as the people of Great Britain mourn her loss.
The Queen's casket will make its final journey through Scotland Sunday. The late Queen's funeral will take place on September 19th.
Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer. The 9/11 terror attacks on America 21 years ago, and those whose lives were cut short are being remembered today. In New York City, the legacy of many of the 343 firefighters killed that day lives on.
New York firefighter Carl Asaro lost his life responding to the attack, leaving behind his 6 kids. 4 of them have joined the NYFD, carrying on their father's legacy. The oldest of them, Carl Asaro Jr. He says to him, the department was always a second family.
We were part of the firehouse, the fire department, when we were kids.
He says his biggest inspiration to serve the community is his family.
Fox's Lillian Wu. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Sunny skies, a high this afternoon near 76 with a light west-northwest wind at around 10 to 15 miles an hour, maybe gust up to around 20. Clear and 48 overnight tonight, sunny 78 on Monday, and then Tuesday sunshine warming up to around 85. There's your forecast. I'm Roger Olson.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where right now at SchrockInnovations.com you can click on Shop and go to Specials, pick yourself up a maintenance certificate, get yourself a copy of Safe Upgrade. You can always come into the service center for a maintenance checkup on special right now. It's the last maintenance special of 2022 going on right now at Schrock Innovations. All right, so one of the things that is becoming increasingly apparent is that security is a more important issue than a lot of people are giving it credit for. Give you an example. This is going to blow your mind. Yesterday, I read a story about how China has an entire military division tasked with creating digital replicas of every single American. So what I had to click that headline, right? That's some link bait right there. Digital replicas. Is there like a virtual Thor? Can I hire him? You know, take the day off. You just do the radio show, Virtual Thor. You'll be fine. But no, China is collecting data points, usage histories, videos, everything they can collect, so that okay. Imagine a scenario here where some technical thing happens, some cyber attack happens, right? And all of a sudden, you've got video popping up on Facebook of me talking about how it's not China, it's actually the FBI, and it's all about, they're all trying to get Trump, and that's why everyone lost their internet, and just going off on some random weird tangent about it, right? But the video looks like me, and it sounds like me, because China has accumulated enough video and audio of me from this radio show over the years that they could create a facsimile of me that would be believable to at least the average person, if not the discerning person, to the point where I would have to come out and defend and say that wasn't me. But you look at it and you're like, clearly it was you, Thor. Like, did you get hacked? Did your Twitter get hacked? That's what politicians do. When they say something stupid, oh, I got hacked. No, like seriously. Now imagine that happens with every security professional at the same time. You could understand how all of a sudden the waters would get real muddy about what's happening with what. Now take that same scenario and throw it into an election. A couple days before an election, a ton, not just like a fake story like on Facebook or something, but a fake campaign with real. So you see news anchors So you see like a Fox News anchor and a CNN anchor and an MSNBC anchor all doing stories about a fake situation, and all this video is uploaded to the internet, except it never happened. None of those videos ever really happened. They were all fake. There was just so much fake that you couldn't discern what was real and what wasn't anymore. That's just one example of how not taking care of your digital footprint, not taking care to protect the little bits of information that you leave behind that we give up freely in order to get a great service, or to enjoy seamless Google integration with everything, or to have our usage history remembered for every app we've ever used on our computer forever. Just last week we had a guy call into the radio show saying, I really wish you wouldn't delete my usage history of all my stuff when I'm in for a maintenance checkup. And we're like, well, that's part of protecting your privacy. That's part of the maintenance checkup. We can't really not do maintenance on the maintenance checkup. It doesn't make any sense. We're going to empty your recycle bin too. Sorry. It's what we do. It's part of a maintenance checkup. So what are the things that you need to be doing right now to keep your security safe, full well knowing there is no such thing as an impregnable system? There is no such thing as a computer that can't be hacked, including, and when I say computer, I use that term loosely, included in that, let's say computing device, okay? Included in that is your smart TV that is technically just an Android computer in most cases, your phone, of course, your tablets, any internet-connected device in your home is basically a computer. So anything that you have to connect to the Wi-Fi, so your smart thermostats, your Ring video doorbell, your camera systems, if you have those, it's all connected. And it's all connected typically at one point in the house, and that's where we're going to start our conversation today, at the wireless router. Number one, wireless routers require updates, and they do not update automatically in all cases. So there's two different categories of wireless devices. Some of you have a wireless router that is one with your cable modem or your DSL modem. You got it from Windstream, you got it from Cox, you got it from CenturyLink. You pay a monthly fee for it. You can't update those. It's the responsibility of the internet service provider to make sure those are current and up to date. They do a pretty good job of it. So if you're in that camp, there's nothing you need to do here. However, if you're like me and you want to have control of your network, you might have a separate router. So you have your cable modem or your DSL modem, and then you have a second box that's a router. It's got antennas on it. And that box is what provides the internet to your house. That's the splitter, right? Well, bad guys will come in through your cable modem or your DSL modem, and the first thing they hit is that splitter. If they can compromise the splitter, they don't need to infect your computer. They don't need to infect your thermostat or your TV or your iPhone or anything else. They have complete access to everything you're doing because they've tapped the pipe. It's like those giant fiber optic cables under the ocean. If you can tap into those things, it doesn't matter. If you can get a man in the middle, it doesn't matter what kind of security you've got on either end. The man in the middle can see everything. And so the important thing to know here is that you need to replace your router about every 5 years, need it or not. Most people, with this way we stream stuff now, need it. They wear out. But every 5 years, that's typically the lifespan of a router, after which the manufacturer no longer provides security updates. That's where that 5-year mark comes from. So if you can't remember the last time you replaced your router, if your router, the router I put in at my parents' house, for example, I put in a router, wireless router for him, right? And, I didn't go over there every day. When my dad was alive, I didn't go every day and say, let me get on your Wi-Fi and check out your router, Dad. It was a system. It worked. You forget about it. It's like your phone system. You forget about it. It works until it doesn't. And then you learn and you're like, wow, this is like a Linksys from like 1998. I better replace this thing. If you're in that camp, it's time to buy a new router. You can buy one from us. You can buy one from Best Buy. I don't really care. You can get it on Amazon. Wherever you want to get it, you need a new router if it's more than 5 years old. Number two, every computing device on your network that can run, that has storage capability, needs to be running antivirus software. So that means every phone, every tablet, every laptop, every desktop, every Mac, every server needs to be running antivirus. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can go about this. Obviously, we recommend Sophos antivirus at Schrock. We recommend it because it is perfect. It is amazingly good. In fact, I had a customer on the bench in the Omaha Service Center who had a Mac that was infected. She was running Sophos, but she stopped subscribing to it 2 years ago. So she hadn't had an update in 2 years. Her broken Sophos software that hadn't been updated in 2 years, that she just never uninstalled from her Mac, was catching the infections. It couldn't remove them, but was catching them and saying, this computer is infected. That's how good it is. That even broken and 2 years out of date, it's catching infections on a computer. So with that said, it may not be in the budget for you to spend $70 per device per year. And I understand that. So some of you are going to look toward things like the Norton LifeLock or Norton 360, where you can protect, 99 devices for the price of one. And the price goes up every year. Many people don't realize that. Up to a total of about $450 a year is where you'll end up on Norton if you don't watch the renewal prices. They automatically charge it. After 5 years, it's at $450. So it gets expensive. So in the long run, it's cheaper to actually run Sophos. But if you wanted to do something like a Norton or a Norton LifeLock, you need something, okay? You need something is better than nothing, first of all. There are different degrees of good. The free stuff, you get what you pay for. It's not great. It's better than nothing. The Norton, the McAfee, it's not great, but it's better than nothing. Then you get into like the higher grade stuff, the Kaspersky, which unfortunately it's a Russian product, but it works well. You get into the Sophoses of the world at that point. You're going to pay for those products. You're going to pay more for them, but they work well. Next up, once we get through all that stuff, we have to keep all your third-party software up to date. This is important to every day. Again, computers come in on the bench during maintenance checkups. I've got customers that used to have Secure Update, or maybe it's expired, or maybe they didn't renew it, or maybe they just had a trial and they never subscribed to it. And then we do the updates as part of the maintenance checkup, and we find 5, 6, 7 programs that are out of date. Just before the radio show, OBS Studio is the software that I use to stream to Facebook. It had an update. They don't make updates because it's, they're bored on a Thursday night. They make updates because there's either a problem or a bug or a security vulnerability that needs to be patched. And there's reasons why there's updates for Dropbox every other day of the week, and Zoom, and Adobe Reader, LibreOffice, all the browsers. They get updated almost weekly. And if you're not downloading all those updates, you're behind. So you need to download those updates to stay secure and stay safe. You can use a program like Secure Updater to automate that for you. Otherwise, you just need to be on top of it. You need to really be checking to see if whenever you open a program, am I using the most recent version of this program? It's a pain in the butt, but you can do it manually. If you're doing all of those things, then we get into the realm of the things where we can increase privacy levels a bit. One of those things that you can do is you can install what's called a VPN, or a virtual private network. Consistently rated #1 is ExpressVPN. It's the one that I use on my computer. It's amazing. I can click a button and suddenly I'm in South Korea, as far as anybody knows. I have it on my phone. Apps that launch on my phone have no idea where I'm at. If I go to Lowe's or Walmart.com, they try to show me to the Lowe's in Dallas, because it thinks I'm in Dallas. It's amazing. It's about $100 a year, and it works really well. Are there free VPNs out there? There are. Do they work? Usually not well. There are other pieces of software like NordVPN, not Norton, but NordVPN is a good one that works out well. Really, again, with a VPN, avoid the free ones. The free ones are usually actually not legitimate VPNs. So you want to avoid the freebies. But any one that you pay for, again, is going to give you more anonymity than you have without it. I like ExpressVPN because you can run 10 devices on it. You can run it on your iPhone. You can run it on your iPad. You can run it on your Android phone. You can run it on your Mac, your PC. You can even install it directly into your Firefox browser. So literally it gives you levels of protection that before this were unheard of as far as privacy. Now, a few things. #1, if you try to use the Park Omaha app to park at a parking meter in downtown Omaha and you have your VPN on, the app doesn't work because it geo-targets you and it says you're not in Omaha. So if you try to order a pizza from Papa John's or Pizza Hut and you have a VPN turned on, you won't be able to order the pizza. So there are some times you'll have to turn your VPN off to do some basic things or create pass-throughs for certain apps. Amazon Prime Video, you cannot run a VPN and stream video. because the videos are restricted by region, and if they can't determine your region, well, then they could be in violation. So there are some limitations to what you can do with it, but by and large, adding a VPN into the mix will increase your privacy dramatically. And then, of course, the final thing, guys, is there's no such thing as a free lunch. Any service that you use that gives you free anything, free email, that would include Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, any of the free email, free VPNs, free antivirus, free anything, you're always paying for it in some way. And usually you're paying for it by giving whoever's providing the free service your information so that they can use your information for whatever their purposes might be, whether that's reselling it or using it to target their own ads, whatever the case might be. You're giving up a lot of your privacy, and that information is centralized. So even if someone like a Google isn't selling it, what if Google got hacked? Think about how much information Google has. That's kind of scary, right? It's just something to think about. Anytime you're talking about your free OneDrive account, or anytime you're talking about any cloud storage, cloud storage was awesome. Like, this is great. Cloud, it's somebody else's computer, right? I can save my stuff on somebody else's computer, and then it's always there when I need it, and they rifle through it. Did you know that? All of them do. OneDrive, Google Drive. Now, officially, they're looking for child pornography and things like that they can report to the police because, they're being responsible citizens. But that involves them rifling through everything in your digital life. Your iCloud, too. So I don't use those services for anything important. I use local backups and local external hard drives and flash drives and things like that because it improves my security levels. So with all that said, guys, those are some basic things that you can do in your home to secure your devices, improve your privacy, and make sure that you are taking the steps you need to at least keep the honest guys honest and make it as difficult as possible for a bad guy out there. 888-250-2091. We're going to take our final break of the program, guys. When we come back, speaking of privacy, a new feature from the makers of DuckDuckGo is going to protect your email by creating a special new service that strips away all the trackers and even some of the spam. So we're going to tell you all about that coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all computer-related equipment like printers, keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, final segment of the program, but guess what? After the show, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, we will have an After Schrock today, where we're going to talk about all kinds of stupid things that are completely unrelated to computers, and maybe a little bit that's related to computers too, but including my own story about the lovely Kimberly and I's experience with the Queen of England. We're going to tell you about that one during the Aftershock today. But first, let's go back into those phones. 888-250-2091. Gordon, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
So I just bought a new router, and it's a modem also. It's a Nighthawk.
Yeah.
And it wants me to buy security software.
Mm-hmm.
And so Netgear Armor, and I'm not sure what that does.
It's powered.
Netgear Armor provides.
It's powered by Trend Micro, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that for the router itself?
You know, we had a Nighthawk router in the Papillion Service Center for a while. I did purchase that, and I noticed no discernible difference of activity on the router whatsoever. I couldn't tell it was doing anything. It wasn't even creating log entries for like scans or updates or anything. Like, it was almost like I flushed my money down a toilet. Now, maybe that's been a few years. Maybe that has changed. But that was my experience with it. And that's one of the reasons that I switched over to ASUS routers, because the high-end ASUS router, there's for the service centers, we have a higher security. We get attacked a lot. And so, especially with a phone system in place, everybody wants into the phone system so they can call the UK or whatever. And so if somebody keeps hitting the service center from the same IP address, basically trying to brute force attack their way into the phone system or something, the router will automatically clip their wings after so many attempts and stop them from trying to reach the service center. Which is fine in a service center. In a home, you probably don't need quite that level of protection, which is why we usually recommend TP-Link routers for home use. But as far as your Nighthawk router goes, that's a boss router. I mean, that thing is a gaming router. It's good. It's a nice router to have. I'm just not so sure that the additional service is worth the spend.
And okay, yeah. In fact, your guys and I stopped at the Papillion place, and they said, yeah, these are pretty good. And then I went to I picked it up at Costco, I think it was, and it was like a $300 machine. So.
Oh yeah, they're expensive. They're expensive, but they're basically computers. I mean, they really are, the way that they route and they do the work that they do. So the Nighthawk is Netgear's best router. The equivalent in ASUS is the RT series, and of course the TP-Link would be the Archer series. So each brand has their own special features and everything to it. Like my experience with the Nighthawk router was the router was great, but the security software subscription was probably not worth the spend.
Okay, and then it wants me to load Bitdefender, and I'm running the Sophos stuff on all my.
Yeah, you don't need to run Bitdefender. They're getting paid a stipend for every install that they generate.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why they're pushing it. But yeah, you don't need to install that.
Okay. All right, so I should be good to go.
You are good to go, Gordon.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, hey, thank you for the call today. I appreciate it. So I had not heard anything about this new service from Duck until I saw this article when I was doing show prep here, getting ready for the program, and I thought, this is ingenious. This is like one of those, why didn't I think of that things? Because the cost for providing the service is not high. This is something that we could have done. It's beautiful. So what you basically do is you sign up for a Duck address. Okay, and then it sends an email, you confirm the code, you do all that stuff. Then whenever you go online, and let's say you're signing up with you're going shopping and you're creating an account, or you're going out and signing up for a newsletter or whatever the case might be, rather than putting in your email address, you put in your Duck address. Now, you don't have to go to like Duck emailed or whatever and check your email there, because the Duck address just forwards everything to your real address. So if I'm T. Schrock at SchrockInnovations.com and I get a Duck address that's duckyducky14 at duckduckgo.com or duck.com, well, duckyducky14 just forwards the email to T. Schrock, except it goes through the email and removes any tracking information. So any trackers that would be triggered when I open the email automatically get stripped away before the email is forwarded on. It's beautifully simple. So you get the email in your regular inbox as if nothing is different. You know where every email is coming from because you can see that it was forwarded from your Duck address. You still get all the offers and everything, coupons that the places send out and all the lists. But then what ends up happening is the way that this reduces spam is when you open up a junk email, even just the act of opening the email is enough to launch the tracker. And the tracker says, ping, somebody opened the mail. And then you get moved to this super awesome list. Let me give you an example. There's a data recovery company called Ace Labs. We buy a lot of equipment from Ace Labs for our data recovery service center. I get an email that says, Ace wants your opinion, $100 gift card. And I'm thinking, well, we spend a lot of money at Ace Labs. So yeah, I'll give them my opinion for a $100 gift card at Ace Labs. Except no, they meant Ace Hardware. And it was a scam email, like one of those, like, give us your opinion, Southwest Airlines kind of thing. And I opened it, and then I realized it was a scam, and I closed it. And now, I'm getting emails about my Makita drill set. I'm getting emails about my Lowe's, my Home Depot, my Ace Hardware, my Weber grill, anything that's like that could remotely be considered like man hardware store related. I'm getting emails about it now because I opened one email. Didn't click on a thing. I just opened it, and that was enough. That's what Duck protects you against. So if you do open the wrong email, you don't end up getting Weber grill ads for all the time, or get your Makita for your free Makita drill set for your survey. Click here. You don't have to deal with all that. So how do you sign up for this thing? So this is DuckDuckGo's email protection. So step one is you install the DuckDuckGo Privacy Essentials add-on. So this is an add-on for your browser. Okay. So you can install it in Chrome, you can install it in Firefox, Safari, or Edge, even Opera. So you go search for the add-on, then you sign up through the add-on, you create your email address, you confirm your email address, and then you use the service. It's that easy. And it's free, and it doesn't cost you anything. And if you don't like it, you just walk away. You don't have to keep using it. You just remove the extension, and it's gone. But this is beautiful because it's so simple and so easy and so transparent that setting it up is actually the hardest part. Congratulations, Kathy. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Marissa will get that added to your Schrock account here on Monday after the program. Do stay tuned, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. We'll be doing an after Schrock there, abbreviated one a little bit. The lovely Kimberly's birthday is today. So we have some birthday plans this afternoon. But we'll talk about that during the Aftershock. So I'm going to keep it brief, but I want to make sure I at least give you a little bit of an Aftershock this week since we didn't have one last week. All right, guys, stay tuned. We'll be back for more. See you next week for another edition of Compute This.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio, your home for made in the USA.